Hi there, my name is Dr. Katie Saints, and this video is in response to the question of who does ABA work for? So the research on ABA is really impressive. The principles that we follow are backed in science that supports that literally any diagnosis, any species, any age, ABA works for. It's effective for treating any diagnosis. So one thing to understand is that learning occurs unconsciously. We experience things and it shapes our behavior whether we're consciously thinking about it and deciding to make those behavior changes or not. So there's some impressive research that shows that ABA can even shape the behavior of things that have almost no brain at all. So there's research on sea slugs that they were able to shape the behavior for, even though the sea slug had no understanding of what was happening. They've actually trained honeybees to recognize the difference between Picasso and Monet paintings. So just through straight ABA strategies, they were able to teach these honeybees these complex skills. So part of the reason I'm so passionate about ABA is because it works that well. So sometimes people have the fear that my child has an autism diagnosis, or my child has bipolar, my child has mood dysregulation disorder, or intermittent explosive disorder, ODD. All these diagnoses sometimes intimidate people, and they're worried that, oh, these strategies, they won't work for my child because they have these other things going on. The good news is it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the diagnosis is. ABA is effective to treat every diagnosis. So sometimes we take that information and it helps us decide our plan a little bit more. So if a child has ADHD, then typically we're going to make contingencies much shorter. So kids aren't waiting a long time for rewards. They need more feedback. If a kid has ODD, we're going to give them more choices. We're going to avoid arguments and things like that. If a child struggles with regulation, we're going to provide more opportunities to practice that, and we're going to have more powerful motivators to work through that. So there's other things that influence behaviors, and sometimes those are the behind the scene things, like the child's tired, or they're hungry, or they're in pain, things like that. So those are all variables that we take into the equation to make our plans for. So they're going to influence behaviors, but they're not an excuse for poor behavior. So when it comes to addressing behaviors from the perspective of ABA, there's literally nothing that ABA can't address. So it's pretty cool. It's a really powerful science that goes way, way back. So be encouraged. There's hope for every situation. We just have to jump in and analyze the contingencies, analyze all of the variables, and we can make a really effective plan from there. All right, have a great day.